Jacob Asa, and this is weekly assignment number 2 for KN 530. This is Jessica, my volunteer. We are going to be doing a strengthening program for bilateral osteoarthritis, focusing mainly in single leg post-op strengthening and opposite leg pre-op strengthening. For the right leg post-op strengthening, we're going to start with knee flexion with banded resistance. So the client is going to be seated in the chair with a TheraBand around their legs, wrapped around the thighs, maintaining good postural control, hands down at the sides, and they're going to lift up with their leg, hold for 5 to 10 seconds for 10 reps. Maintaining good posture throughout and holding the flexion at peak as long as they can. The next post-op right knee strengthening exercise is going to be standing from a knee. This is going to be incorporating the gardening that the client loves to do to apply functional strength to the movement. First, they're going to get into the position they would get into in gardening, simulated by this foam mat. They're going to use the chair's assistance as if they're using a wheelbarrow or a stone wall that they're gardening around. And then what they're going to do is they're going to use the chair. They're going to step forward with the right leg and use the chair and the right leg to stand up, focusing on quad dominant movement here, strengthening that. How does that feel?
Feels pretty good.
So if you are not in a position where you have something to assist yourself, what you'll want to do is, in this lunged position with your right leg forward, you're going to want to support yourself on your leg here, the thick part of your quad. Lean forward slightly and push off while you stand up.
Okay.
Maintaining some postural and core
So I'm just going to
contraction.
push down while
Yes.
I push up?
Lean slightly forward and stand up.
Oh, good.
Perfect.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
You'll repeat that for 5 to 10 reps.
Do I want to try that as I go down too?
Yes.
Or do I want to still hold on to the chair?
Yes, you can do it both ways as well. Get into a slight lunge position and push against your knee as you go down.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
Cool.
The third and final post-op right knee strengthening and balance exercise is going to be a single leg balanced toe touch to these bean bags on the floor. So what the client is going to do is support herself on the chair, have good posture, and then she's going to slightly bend the support leg, which will be the left knee, and she will reach out as far as she can while supporting herself with the chair. She'll do that for forward, side, and back. And that'll be a 1 rep. So do that 5 to 8 times. Repeat if it feels comfortable.
I feel like I'm standing up straight. Okay.
Try to, if you feel like you're losing posture, try to engage your core a little bit more. Bend over your hips and not reach with your chest.
Okay. Should I come back or should I just...
Yes, come back to center each time. Awesome. Perfect. The first exercise for the pre-operation left knee that is suffering a lot of pain with flexion and extension is going to be a band-resisted knee flexion with the band tied off to the chair and the other side tied off to the ankle. The client is going to keep posture, hold on to support themselves, and extend their knee to full extension. Hold for 5 to 10 seconds and return for 10 reps. This is going to promote hamstring and quad engagement and strengthen that knee and lengthen the hamstring under tension and contract the quad under tension as well to help strengthen the knee and provide overall stability for it going into the operation. The next strengthening exercise for the pre-op left knee is going to be a single leg hip complex where we will have the client stand with the chair assisted them. They'll have a band around their ankles. They'll have a slight bend in their right knee for stability. And then we'll start a 3-directional extension and flexion series where they will start forward, they will flex the hip, they will go out sideways, and then they'll go back into extension. This is going to help engage the quads and the hip on flexion. It'll activate and engage the gluteus complex on the side and back. And when you go back again, you will engage part of the hamstring as well. This is also incorporating balance if the client feels comfortable enough to try to do it without assistance or light assistance.
One finger.
Given the injury recovery we are doing, most likely will always have an assistance aspect to it,
I don't remember doing my leg.
and good posture as well with the core engaged.
Okay.
We'll do these for one rep is forward, side, and back. We'll do 5 to 10. The final strength and stability exercise for the pre-op left knee is going to be a single leg balance exercise where the client will find themselves in a good athletic position, feet somewhat close together. They'll have a chair next to them for stability. They'll slightly bend the left leg and begin to lift the right leg while holding onto the chair. The client will hold that for 5 to 10 seconds and then drop the leg back down and gather themselves for a second or two, and then repeat that for 5 to 10 reps. Maintaining good core engagement and postural control the whole way through. When the client is ready, if they feel comfortable enough, they can try to take their hand away and balance on their own. This may require them to shorten the time that they are on top on their foot from anywhere from 2 to 4 seconds, or they can try longer if they wish. But it is always good to maintain the chair for stability just in case. The first exercise for the bilateral both leg strengthening will be banded monster walks. So we'll have 2 variations of these. The first will just be a simple side-to-side variation. We'll get in a nice athletic pose. You'll hinge the hips and engage the glutes, and you'll just take a nice easy step side to side. You'll want to range these steps somewhere between 6 and 10 steps, and then you'll go back the direction you came. Making sure to stay nice, postural over yourself, engaging your core, keeping a nice tight frame while focusing on the glute and quad engagement.
I want to make sure my feet are pointed straight ahead.
Yes, you do. The next variation will be a forward diagonal step monster walk. This will engage the quads a little more, as well as the glute medius.
Is that same steer position?
Yes. And you want to hook the legs in. like a monster. And then gather, and then go the next direction. Perfect. The next exercise for bilateral strengthening will be a half squat, where we will be focusing on glute and hamstring activation for the gluteus maximus and the hamstring group. So you'll want to maintain good posture, have a nice athletic pose, and you'll be just slightly squatting down, not even halfway, just to feel the glute activation. Just try to train that. You hold that for a couple seconds, come back up, go back down into it, hold that for 3 to 6 seconds, and then come back up, and do that for a set of 5 to 10, focusing on core engagement, posture, and really feeling that glute activate. The next bilateral strengthening exercise will be a corrective imbalance exercise for the pre-op and post-op legs, where we will do seated box squats, simulating sitting down in a chair. So the client will just sit down in the chair normally, but instead of taking a full seat, what they're going to do is they're going to lightly or briefly sit on the chair and try to come back up at a faster pace than when they sat down. Maintaining good squat form, posture, head position. Now to progress this exercise, the client would simply sit in the chair for a full second or 2 seconds, as if they were taking a break. And they would come right back up. To progress this exercise, if the client wishes to improve or increase their imbalance correction, what they'll do is they'll find a lower seat and they'll do the same thing. Good core engagement, good squat posture, and they'll lower themselves down to this lower seat. Do the same thing. They'll touch briefly and come back up. And if they feel comfortable enough with the strength required to do this movement, but they may be getting tired, they can take a seat on the lower stand as well. They should be done with 6 to 10 reps per set, with 2 or 3 sets per session. The final exercise for bilateral knee strengthening will be hip abduction with a band resistance. So the client will find themselves in the chair, they'll wrap the bands around their thighs, they will back their heels up slightly to the chair and get on their toes while they either brace their legs or they brace the side of the chair, and they will begin to slowly externally rotate the knees, engaging the exterior hip abductors.
Do I want to move my feet very much, or just the knee?
You'll want to focus more on your knees, but if the feet need to rotate, they can. A small amount of movement is not a problem. All right, thank you. That has been bilateral strengthening and balance improvement for pre and post-op knee surgeries for osteo and rheumatoid arthritis. Thank you, Jessica, for being the volunteer.
Very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Woo-hoo. Air high fives. Air high fives. Air high fives. Ugh.